only clicked on the video because you ain't seen a cat-eye Chevrolet in the thumbnail is what I mean. The picture when you click on the video. That's what I meant. And there's a transmission in front of it, and a green one. That's because it comes from the Monster transmission. That's not a paid sponsorship. That's just where we got it from. And you're probably, there's one here. So you're guessing right, we're doing a dang transmission. Because this thing, it gave up third gear. She says no more highway speeds. We don't have time to rebuild it right now. That'll be coming up in a new video. But for right now, we're gonna take the old one out. We're gonna put the new one in, and we're gonna be driving this puppy before dark. Well, that's the goal. Hopefully we can get it before dark. It might be tomorrow's before dark. Now, as usual, there's no plan. We're going with the, we're winging it. Chicken wing. Now, I've done a couple of these transmissions now, but they've always been four-wheel drives. So the bummer is this is a two-wheel drive. She's a little lower down to the grizound. That's what I meant to say, grizound. She's a little lower, is what I mean. But the good part is we don't have to take off a T-case. It's strictly just a drive shaft and then a cross member. And we got some electrical pieces. And, some exhaust will be in the way, so we'll get that out of the way. And then some bell housing bolts, and then this thing will come right out. Well, with the starter will have to come out, and the flywheel bolts will have to come out for the torque converter. But what I'm saying is we're gonna save like 2 hours not having to deal with a T-case. But now that I'm thinking about it, we meant to put this front end on them ramparoonie things. We did not do that, so we're gonna have to do that before we get started. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna quit rambling to you guys, and I'm gonna do something with this white Chevrolet and that green transmission. We'll also have this thing probably going in the background like this entire video. So I'm gonna do a lot of yelling. So I hope you guys are ready. I'll try to remember to turn it down like I do got it right now when I'm talking to you guys, but every time I'm not, I'm gonna be cranking that sucker up so we stay warm because it's only 13 degrees outside. What are we doing? So we got them 20s. Yep. And I said 20s on them stands. And we don't have to keep them clean.
Got them 20s on there. Them 20s, I just got them.
Them ain't 20s, but it's off the hook.
Them are 20s, man. They 10s. I bought them from somebody, but they nice though.
Yeah, they cool.
Yeah, they.
No need. Let's open up this transmission type stuff, what we gotta do is, yeah. That was satisfying. This is a neat little case they gave us here, for shipping. Nice. Nice. So we're gonna have to put our park neutral safety switch on. Or, I don't know, the selector thingamajig that goes here. It's a big black box. It's got electrical wires, which is nicer because getting those electrical wires, they're glued on sometimes. But I think this is like an 07, 06. So it's actually got the nicer electrical clip that would come off easier, but I don't know, I kind of like doing the whole selector personally. Grandpa's getting the cushion and the ground warmers. So that means things are getting serious. We gotta put the e-brake on and put the chocks behind the wheels and stuff so we can pull the drive shafts and she don't go rolling away. Shoop. Shoop. Good. Good. It's already down. Alright, so now we're down there under the dang truckaroonie here. Right here, and look at this drive shaft, man. It's a biggin'. Woo! Man. Alright, so these bolts are our goal here. You should know that probably. I don't know why I'm saying that, but I should break them loose now with the ratchet wrench. So hold on. What do we have? There's one side. Get the big old pry bar. She's rusty in there. She's stuck in there. Oh. Oh. Come on, everybody. So, a little WD-40 and a bunch of dad words, and almost taking out my nugget because it said as it fell down. But this big old large, and I mean the lightest drive shaft I've ever picked up. It's the biggest, but the lightest. She's out of there is what I'm saying. It's out, gone. Had to put the camera down because, you know, you seen me struggling, and then Grandpa I needed to pass it to someone, so you guys gotta miss out. But anyways, it's not that interesting. You know how a drive shaft comes out, right? Hopefully. Let's move on to whatever's next. I can't even remember. Some electrical stuff, and a cross member, and some coolant lines. I forgot the dang transmission cooler lines, but so we gotta get to that too. We got the WD-40 that done set for a while. She should just come right off, I hope. I don't know though. Well, that is definitely not the right size there. Dang it! Alright, now we got the right size. Let's see. No, she ain't ready to do it yet. Still gotta go by hand. Hey, Grandpa got us some light. What? Can you guys see that now? Come on. Man, that is tough. She's on her. I mean, don't worry, my friends. I got them off. Alrighty, so Grandpa's working on the last O2 sensor here. We got our bolts out here and there, and we stripped one of them. So that was a little bit of a pain, you know, and I got serious, forgot about you guys right here. So we're gonna keep going anyways. So we almost got this exhaust out, and what these two-wheel drives have, I didn't ever see need done notice because I ain't never done played with one before. Is these little things right here, you know. So I think we have to drop one or both to be able to get the exhaust out. Dang it. Bummer to take it apart more, but it's only 2 bolts and I think we'll make it, so we're getting there. The exhaust is almost free, so once that's out, then we got cross member and a couple pieces to go, is what I'm saying. Things are changing here. This is the exhaust. You can see the cross members out, so the exhaust is now coming out. Boy, was this some work, okay? Grandpa's pulling around, say, see you later, alligator. I don't know if you could tell, but the bolts are missing in the starter. See 'em? Right there, you see them? They're gone, okay? So we need to, that's actually out of the way, and there's that little plastic cover that goes right there with that 10mm. You know, that's your starter alignment little thingamajig and a dust cover all in one. It serves 2 jobs. So we got that out of the way. Now we got to figure out what size the crank bolt is up there so we can use that wrench right there, which you probably can't see because of the light, and get these torque converter bolts off. You know what I'm saying? Woo-wee! Man, I'm getting so excited. This green monster is gonna be in there soon. All right, we got Grandpa at the front up there. He's holding that. We're about to spin this puppy over and look for this flywheel bolt here. And I can just see her poking. You can come this way, just like a little bit. See her right there?
You want me to roll it?
Yeah. Spin when you're ready. Just go a little bit more. Oh, we're close. Let's try that. I could get the wrench on her, so that's good news. All right, so we got that one out. Now we're spinning her over again. And we just gotta wait for bolt number 2. Grandpa's got the hard job right now. But a moment ago I had the hard job, so we're just switching, taking turns. I would assume we'll be there soon. Oh, I see it poking. A little more right there. Don't move, right there. All right, here we go for round 3. Sorry, you guys keep getting caught out with the wrench because I need 2 hands for this job.
Me too.
This should be the last one here, and then we get the bell housing bolts. This puppy come out. So excited. Here we are, we're crowning. A little bit more, one more. Right there is perfect.
Whoa, look, you just slipped off.
The world was saying, dude, no more. No more. We'll get the wrenchy on there. We'll get the other wrenchy on there. Let's see if I can do this one-handed.
Go for it.
Oh, whoa, cramped my leg.
Fox, yeah.
Okay, and then what I've been doing is I've been coming in with the ratcheting wrench and giving her a couple twists. And this is really where you need 2 hands, so you guys are about to get lost, but this is what I'm doing. You know, but I can't go too far or else the wrench gets stuck on the back of the block. So then I come back with this guy and boop, boop, the rest of the way and we're done. Man. It was a fight, but we got all the 8 bell housing bolts. You know, it really wasn't that interesting. Just a bunch of dad words, and we really can't put those on the YouTube. So, the tranny cooler lines are still in there, but we're gonna come down a little bit, shimmy her around, and wiggle them out and stuff like that. So, we should be able to be coming down real nice. Solid than that.
good spot up here. Okay, there. That's a little more stable. We can work on this bit. Will it sit there?
Yeah, it's sitting there.
Okay.
All right. Roll her down. Okay. Oh, we need to get back up. We're leaking. Oh, dust. Holy cow, it's out!
Oh yeah.
Cardi, if you're watching, which we messed up our camera view, but that's all right. I hope you guys enjoyed that.
Oh no, I wonder if I kicked that.
Probably, but that's okay. I just want to say, first off, the transmission, the old one, ejectocito, cuz. And this is the only mess we made. And it was from me pulling it out, and it came out of the dipstick hole. Which, look at that ugly fluid. That's why the tranny failed. That's because it's bad. It looks bad, you could tell because of the way it is. So simple as that, you know, a couple hours of your time, you can have a two-wheel drive transmission right the heck out of your truck. So we're gonna put some kitty litter down, and it is gonna be time to go get the little dude from school. So it was perfect timing, man. Since we got this puppy out, we're gonna take the parts we need. You know, like we don't have the tube on this one, so we'll swap that over. We need these little things, so we're gonna have to swap that over. The speed sensor, and then neutral safety switch, selector switch, whatever that thing is. Then this is a piece that they recommend to change right here, the torque converter. You can see this one has one, that one doesn't. And we did the lacking and the slacking of the buying of the torque converters. And well, it's here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pray to cow that that other one is okay, and we're just gonna put her in. Put some more miles on this puppy. You know what I mean? Now we should probably do a little flush on the dang transmission cooler that's in the front of the truck too, but we're not gonna do that neither because, you know, the torque converter has fluid in it that's dirty too. So what's the point? You know? We're gonna move on. We're gonna move these parts real quick, get this puppy back in because we're running out of daylight. Two things. We forgot two things. Really simple things. One of them was this heat shield, super quick swap over, no big deal. And another thing was the part, you know, the selector cable thing, you know, that makes the shifting, the selection happen, you know. Chooses what gear you want to be in. Yeah, we needed the holder, so we swapped the holder over. The only thing left is the torque converter. We've got to make sure we got our little double clickeroonies, you know, sucks in one time and then sucks in another. And then this thing's going in. Roll this way.
Oh yeah.
Ready? Yep.
Yeah, right? Holy shit.
That is so heavy.
That's about everything I have, man.
Yes, we did.
Holy shit.
Right?
Okay, you gotta hold it?
Yep.
Here it comes. Oh, That's close. That's a good way.
Yeah, let's go back towards you. Okay.
Wow, everything's looking good.
I got some good news and some bad news. The good news is the transmission, it's in the truck. The bad news is we think we gotta take it back out because we don't really know why. But the torque converter is not spinning. We're binding in there somehow, and we have a good half-inch gap on the transmission to motor. Let me show you. Let me show you. So as you can see the green transmission in here. All right, so now if you wander your eyes upon this gazing spot right here, there's a big gapperoni. You can fit like macaroni noodles in there. And you know, the torque converter in there, you can be able to move with your fingers and it's stuck. Can't do anything. I even used this screwdriver and gave her some tappies on the block in there to try to get her to spin. But she didn't spin. She won't go no more forward. And none of these bolts are tight. They're just snug, you know, so we shouldn't be damaging anything as we leave it. But it's getting late and cold, and I'm getting hungry. And I've been up for almost 24 hours. So I think it's, you know, about time to call it a day before we do ruin something. Sadly, because we're so close. I was hoping to fire this puppy up today. But there's no sense in rushing this thing and ruining it and having a bunch of issues, you know, so we're just gonna give her the end of the day call right now. We're here again, dang it. It's not the same story. We've already started work this morning. Usually we haven't, but you know, I didn't taking a transmission out and putting it back in and taking it out and putting it back in. That would get pretty boring for you guys, so I was trying to prevent that. But then in the middle of it, like, we about dropped the dang transmission, and I should have dang had you guys involved anyways. So what we did was is we went back to my house. We picked up my jacks, so we had 2 jacks, so we could lift the motor, wobble her around, and the transmission and wobble her around at the same time, because you know that's how we usually do it, and it always works great. But you know how you try to do what you got with what you got. Well, we didn't have everything that we should have had. But now we're going back in again for this, I guess now the 3rd time. 3 times now. So, you know, they say what, third time is the charm or something like that? Because here we are. Grandpa's over there. Can you see him? You can't see his head because the jack's in the way. But this is what we got going on here. So the angle to the dangle, you need the one for the motor, because otherwise your transmission is going to be like whack real bad, and you're going to be leaking all over your place, okay? Yourself, not your place. And well, you know, your floor too. And then you got the one to hold the jack, the transmission up here, doing its thing. And then the next thing you know, everything goes together. Like, look at the gapperoni we got. It's nothing. And if you look in here, the torque converter is still spinning. You see it? So that's good. That means we got it in the hole right. So now we just gotta get the rest of our bell housing bolts in, because I just did the 1, 2, and 3 here and started like thinking about you guys. So I was like, man, let me do some video real quick. You know, so there's not really much to show other than us moving the jack a bunch of times. It's really just finding the right angles to the dangles and making sure that your torque converter centers in the crankshaft and isn't pinched in there like we had last night. You know, and that's partially my fault. I was in charge of that last night, and I thought we had it in. But we must have just gave her the right wiggle to the wiggle-a-rooney, and it must have came out by the time we got the bolts in there, okay? So that's why we don't do this kind of stuff on a 24-hour day. You know, take a nap before you get started is what I'm saying. Yeah, it'll go together smoother. Now, we could have had this done yesterday if I wasn't sleepy. I blame myself, but it's okay. We got her together. We're going together. I shouldn't say got her together, but it's, you know, the transmission is mostly in there. And then now it's doing what we did yesterday. Transmission cooler lines, and the cable needs to be hooked back up in the cross member, and the electrical needs to be put back together, and then the drive shaft needs to go back in. And then there's those cross things, you know, that went all triangular, that was in the way of our exhaust, and we got to do our exhaust before we do those, and then, you know, we'll be about done. Yeah. Bell housing bolts installed completely, all 8 of them. Okay, they're like torqued to Mikey specs, and they're a little over factory specs, just so you know. Now, the only thing I need to do is confirm that the torque converter is still spinning so we can get the bolt holes lined up and boop boop. Then we can do the starter, we can put that back in. Then we got to do the tranny cooler lines so they'll quit dripping all over the effing place. And then we could do cross member and our electrical stuff, and then the exhaust. Well, we don't want to do cross member until we do exhaust, just so you know. And then drive shaft. All right, now we're back from our warm snack, and we moved our jack real quick to the back, you know, so I could have room and lay down up here to be able to get to these torque converter bolts. That's the plan, real fast. I don't know if it'll work out like we hope. So you guys are seeing what I'm seeing right here and down here. This is our mess we're dealing with. You know, when you get busy, you just forget to keep up with their cleaning because you're so busy. So first things here is I gotta stick my finger in this hole and spin the torque converter over till the hole lines up, and dang, we are close. Can you see it moving in there? I don't know if you guys can, okay, but I think that's where the hole is. So I'm gonna try to get my big old meaty gloves in here. Look at, I actually got it right. Do you see it? Dang. All right, so we're gonna get that a little tight, but not too tight, because we want a little bit of adjustment for the other 3 bolts, you know what I mean? The wiggle room is what I'm talking about. You want wiggle room in this situation. So alright, so we're almost touching the flex plate. That should be far enough in to be able to give us wiggle room and not hit the motor as we spin around. Oh, we're getting close. Yeah. Right there. That'll work.
Okay, she's got tension on the bounce back, so go ahead, I'm gonna hold it. That's kind of weird.
Oh, that was not the hole, buddy. Go a little more.
Okay, that makes me feel good.
There it is. Right there. Yep, we're good. We gotta find my bolt. There it is. Oh, there we are. A little more. Right there. Nice. Just enough to get my big old grips in there. So here we are. I'm not lying. They are tight. And I mean Mikey torqued, because mine's better than factory. Anyways, we get this plastic in so we can get the starter in. And I think I'm laying on that plastic piece, so you guys are gonna have to wait. Starter is in, the plastic's there. I got this jack back out of the way because you know what time it's for? Time for some exhaust, man! Then we could lose this other jack, put the cross member in real fast, like bang. Then we could get to this exhaust, tighten up these bolts, but you don't want to put the cross member in because you need it for the room here. You know what I mean? So we're not going to tighten these up because we're missing one of the bolts, or I mean nuts for up there on the manifold to the Y pipe. So we're going to have to go get one of them or find one in our bucket of bolts. Yeah, she's a little slow. That's what you get for a Walmart jack.
This thing works fine.
I love it, to be honest.
Nice one.
The blackjack?
Blackjack.
That's what brand it is, blackjack. Alright, so we gotta go up a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like your side needs to go back just a tickle. There we go. So, yeah. My side quit going. There we go. Okay.
Alright, I got a whole hole on mine.
Alright, yeah, I'm there too. We'll go backwards. Okay. Oh, where's my other bolt?
Check her out, guys. We got Grandpa putting in the dang drive shaft. We got the cross member in. We just got some electrical clips to do, you can see hanging there. But here is the drive shaft. Here, maybe I should pick up this other end and help him out a little bit with my foot.
Make sure that I line up the right direction, or are we gonna have to spin it?
Looks good.
Okay.
There she goes. Boom.
Thank you, sir.
Boom. Did you see that? I just put a hand on it and Grandpa said, whoop. The dude is a ninja. So I don't know if you guys can see back here, but the drive shaft, we're putting the clamps in. Right in his out. In this his out. You know what I'm saying, dog? I'm so excited. And I'm not even showing it. Oh man, dang. What am I doing? I can't see. Oh, there it is. There it is. All right. So we got the drive shaft in there, as you seen. We got all the electrical connectors clipped together. So you know what that means? It's that, but it's about time to put the fluid in the thing. And then we hook up our battery, put her on a jump box because she's dead. And we fire her up and pumpulate the fluid through and add some more fluid, and then we go for a test drive. I think that's the plan. I don't know if it'll work like that, and we're about to find out. You guys know my favorite part of like every project that I do pretty much is when the tools start getting picked up. You know, it makes me feel good inside because we're about done. All right, so I'm gonna quit talking. I'm gonna put this fluid in here, get the rest of these tools picked up, and then we're gonna try and start it up. We got the fluid in there. We don't know if there is enough dumped in there, but we're gonna say it's good enough, and we're gonna start it up and see if we get the air gap out. Grandpa's back there. He's about to put the key in her. Gotta listen carefully now. All right, so far so good. No clicky noises, no screaming. That's a good sign so far, guys. That means we got the torque converter put on the fins, you know, the oil pump fins properly. Man, the only thing now is to let her pump. Sounds like we got a little bit of an exhaust leak up here somewhere. But we'll have to let that puppy warm up and tighten them while they're warm, because they tend to stay tighter that way. So for all that work we did, and that's the issue we have, is a little bit of an exhaust leak, I'm gonna take it as a win so far. Now I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch, because we do have to throw her in gear first. But we're gonna have to put it in reverse, let it sit, put it in neutral, and then drive, and 3 and 2 and 1, just for a few moments to let the fluid pump through. Yeah. All right. Reverse. Neutral. We're gonna give her a little gas in neutral. And we'll go to drive. Oh, I felt it engage in 3. Oh, keep missing drive. We took this puppy off the ramps. We got some fluid in her. You know, we're checking to make sure it's at the right level. But it did roll down in reverse under its own power, okay? So that's a good sign. We did something right so far. We just got a little bit of waiting to do. You know, we gotta run her through the gears again to make sure that she's gonna be good. And got the air bubbles out of the transmission is really the main reason. So it's just gonna happen a few times, and then we're gonna possibly take her out on the farm because, you know, the tags for the license plates, they're expired. All right, so I think we got enough fluid that we can maybe put this thing in drive and just go back and forth in the garage here, because we're having an issue. The alternator's probably dying, so the jump box is keeping this thing running right now. So I need to hurry up, quit talking to you guys, and we're just gonna go front back real quick, see how the transmission is doing, okay? We gotta check engine light, which she's missing kinda, so look at that, off the gas. We're moving. Nice. She is good. Man, that's got solid gear. I definitely probably do think that the transmission was dying, and it's definitely probably what we... Our oil pressure, you know, it's a little low on what I'd like to see, but it's still not horrible. Voltages, you could see, are going all over. So I think that's gonna be what tonight is gonna be tonight, and we'll do our test drive tomorrow in the daytime, tomorrow afternoon. You know, that way if she does leave us stranded somewhere silly, it's warm out and it's not, oh, let me get my flashlight, you know what I'm saying? So we're gonna wrap tonight up for tonight. It was a good success. We're gonna take the little wins that we did get, all right? We don't need to be pushing it. All right, next day, we got Grandpa picking me up here. And we're gonna test drive the old, you know, truck over to my house and see how she does. And if she does good enough, then we're gonna take her on yonder to the Walmart and then make myself comfortable. All right, the good news is we're here. But there is a lot of mud. And let me tell you, we're gonna be in a two-wheel drive on like street tires in a truck with like no weight in the back. So this is gonna be fun all the way out. The whole driveway is super. So this might be an adventure. It might be. We gave her a good once over here. Checked the air filter. Needs to be replaced. We blew it out though, you know, with the air compressor. Put a little oil in her. She was a little low, not too bad. And a little bit of antifreeze we put in there. She was a little low, but not too bad either. So, Grandpa took the battery off the battery charger that we had last night, so we're gonna see now if it held a charge. We're gonna see if it'll start up without the jump box. What is the chances? Nope, nothing. She's a dead one. All right, now I got the jump box on her. Oh, look at that. Got instant juice. She fired up a little happier than yesterday. Still says change engine oil, but you know, I'm sure that needs to be done. You see that? 291,000 miles. You know what? We didn't check the washer fluid. Nope. Didn't do that good of a check, did we? Buckle seatbelt. That's what I'm trying to show you. Look at that, 291. We're almost at 300,000 miles on this old girl. Really clean too. You know, very taken care of. You know, now you think this is dirty, but that's just wear. Maybe a little bit of dirt too, but. Grandpa took the battery jumper box off and she continued running today. So whatever issue we had definitely must have been some bad gas in the lines, you know, maybe stuck up an injector or something. But we're holding juice. The alternator's doing its job today. She's running good. We got good oil pressure. You know, again, it's a little low than I'd like to see. The voltages are wandering a little bit, but you know, she's been sitting for 8 months. No check engine light. We're running smooth. Doesn't feel like or hear like there's any misses today, so that's a good sign. Yes! So I think we're almost about time. We'll give her a few more minutes to warm up here, make sure she don't overheat, and then take her for a cruise here. Okay, so big change, and I mean big change of plans. This thing, you know, we threw her in gear and stuff and she didn't want to run very nicely. She dipped down and struggled a little bit and died. You know, mostly because we got 3/4 of a tank of bad gas that's been sitting there for 8 months, not touched. And we've got this dead battery because we got these dang negative frickin' 15-degree winter time this year. So if you didn't use the battery over that time, she's a goner. So instead, I'm gonna take this puppy back to the store, try and warranty it, and then hopefully we could do our test drive later this evening. Dang it! But I better get her done because I got work tonight and I need to take this on a run before I go to work because I want to take this to work, so I got 2 good runs to make myself feel comfortable that the transmission's doing her job before I give her back to the owner. You know what I mean? So let's get her done. We got a new battery in this puppy. We unfortunately couldn't get the one we had warranted because they didn't have it in stock, so we bought another one. But they did say I could come back in the next couple days and get that battery warranted. So that's what we're gonna do. But for right now, we're gonna do our job. And look, we have dome lights, so the battery must be good. That's a good sign. Oh yeah. Look at that. Look at that, much happier on her own battery. Look, the voltage thing's not all going nuts anymore. Well, I may be counting my chickens before they hatch because it hasn't warmed up much yet either, so. But hey, it's test drive time. All right, now's the moment we take this puppy out of here. Let's get her out. Oh yeah, she's got some transmission. finally hit the road. We did get a check engine light. The thing did shift into third gear, so I think we have a win. You know, we'll see if we get fourth / overdrive, whatever it is, you know, the final gear when we get up here on this main road and do 50, 55, 60. You know what I'm saying? So we got a little buddy, he's got his belt on. We're headed home. There's one, then a two. It's 2 and a 3. And 4th. Looks like Mikey did a great job. And we fixed a frickin' transmission on the first try. Man, that's something you gotta be proud of right there. I don't care what anybody says. Look at this thing. Man, we made it to my house with all my other rides here. So far the test driving went good. You know, she is stuttering a little bit because I think we got some really bad gas in there. So main goal is to put some fuel injector cleaner in there, maybe some octane booster, and help that puppy out. But it's definitely better after me getting her up to speed and putting some RPMs in her. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta get going. I gotta get some, I gotta do the second test drive. Take her on the highway. You know what I mean? I'm gonna put me some of this stuff in there because that's what I got. Just like this. One more thing I gotta do before I go is because we got her up to speed, is I gotta check the transmission fluid one more again. So, well, I didn't grab a rag, so I'm gonna do what I always do. Alright, well, we're still a little over full, but it is less over full than it was. So hopefully there's another air bubble in there. Otherwise we got some crazy work to do. Let's go in there and say it's good for now. Everything's holding good. That means we're on test drive number 2. So it's the next morning. And I did take her on that second test drive, but by the time that I did, it was pretty dark out. So you guys wouldn't have seen me or much of the road, so I felt there was no point in videoing it. And it did so good. It was pretty uneventful. You know, it drove there, drove back. So good that I took it to work again, not about an hour later. And I just got home from work. It did wonderful. It's happier than it was before. So I gotta say that this is a huge success on doing this transmission. So you gotta give us a like on this video because it wasn't an easy task. You know, if you got any questions, you gotta go ahead and ask them. If you liked what we did, you know, comment something, you know. And don't forget to subscribe because we're always here for a good time, not a long time. You gotta stay motivated to get these projects done. I appreciate you guys sticking around and watching. Don't forget to come back next week, please.